Well, my classroom doesn't have walls, and I kind of think that's both figuratively as well as literally.
Okay, Jennifer, up the ladder.
The kids really never know what to expect when they walk in. And that's part of the beauty of teaching and being creative. I try to create an environment where cooperative learning and discussion of mathematics is what's important. Usually we don't use the textbooks a whole lot. We let the kids imagine and create their own data, and we intertwine the mathematics into that.
Today what we're going to do is water balloon bungee jumping. Ooh. That's what I thought. Okay. Chase, would you read it very loudly, please?
Bungee jump your water balloon from the roof of the Randolph County Vocational Technical Center. The balloon that falls closest to the ground without hitting it wins.
How do you think you might go about this? You're going to have one balloon launcher. Let me grab one. Okay. Rubber bands. A balloon. In here, you're going to do a trial run. Okay. You're going to launch it off the rubber band. And as you do that, you're going to measure how far the rubber band extends. Think about your independent and your dependent variable. Which one is which? It's a little tricky in this lab. You may not use more than 3 rubber bands in this room for your trials. Okay, so you're going to have how many ordered pairs? 3. Then you're going to calculate the linear regression, right?
I chose to use water balloon bungee jumping as my lab today as the culminating project for learning slope-intercept form of a line and linear equations. Students were to use critical thinking skills and problem-solving skills to associate all of the slope and y-intercept, independent, dependent variables, range, domain, and several other algebraic concepts into an alternative assessment project.
58 minus 21 is...
A lot of what they do is on their own. You know, I see myself more as a facilitator than a teacher.
How high is it?
We're going to go outside and you're going to decide that. Okay, are you sure? Yeah. Tell me tell me how you're sure. Let me ask you about this for a second. Independent and dependent. Talk to me about how you decided which one was which.
It's important for them to find those relationships and investigate math concepts for themselves.
We have 3 linear regression equations, correct? The slope in each of the 3 is the same. But what is not? The y-intercept, right? What could account for the differences? Size of the rubber band you chose?
Or the balloon.
Or the size of the balloon. What? You think the color? Okay, you can think that. Aren't you colorblind? Oh, okay.
Water balloon bungee jumping is an excellent way to hook kids. So at the beginning of class, I can say, we're gonna bungee jump water balloons today. And their eyes open very wide, they're excited, and I have them hooked. And then I can say, there's a little bit of math we need to know before we can be successful at this. And they're like gung-ho, ready to learn the math. So it's a way to hook them because they have purpose behind what they're doing.
You get your domain and your range from that, and then you do your equation.
You're substituting in what? So that should be, what do you substitute in for? What letter?
Why? But we need to put in A.
Yeah, so what's wrong with the picture?
I see.
Backwards.
Okay.
You got it?
11,000 rubber bands going down the side of the
No, we would be here for like the next 3 days.
When they do the water balloon bungee jumping and they have investigated, they have built their own data rather than getting data out of a textbook, and it makes it much more real.
Nice job!
Jenna!
Let's do a little reflection about the lab. Now, I know there was a lot of discussion, especially these 2 groups, outside about the independent and the dependent variable.
We figured out that the equation was actually switched, so it needed to be, the distance was x and the number of rubber bands was y.
How many groups actually had that backwards at the beginning? Yeah. So the reason for this lab then is to show you that independent and dependent variables, that those don't always appear clearly.
When we first measured ours, we didn't do it stretched, and we only did the 3 stretched, and then it came out to be really close to 90. And so we just thought it'd be 30 for each of them, and so we went wrong at the very first, and then we just kind of went along with it.
The student is responsible for his own learning. I facilitate it, but my students, if you give them that responsibility, they'll eat it up.
I think everybody deserves a round of applause for today. You did a nice job.
I think it's important for kids to have purpose in what they're doing. And once they have a reason and they're excited about getting to an end goal, you can almost get them to do anything. You can have them learn those formulas because they know it's necessary for their purpose, for their end goal. So hooking them with that purpose. So that's the most important part.
Very nice, very nice.